You should know I'm on that truck. No matter where I've been, I smoke that stick, that deck, that tree. I'm on that truck. No matter where I go, I smell like herb. That's like candy, bus cologne. I'm on that truck. No matter who you be, I'm blazing up. Got a problem, you could leave. I smoke that truck, and I don't give a fuck.
What's on YouTube? It's your boy Big Touch, the Black Guy, here with another Late Smoke Break. And ladies and gentlemen, it is the 30th episode. Y'all know every 10 episodes I have a guest. And my guest today, not only is he my brother, but he is one of the coolest people in the earth. None other than Clarence B. Bowser. How are you today, sir?
What's going on, Chachi? You know, living life, man. Just got some news that my auntie passed away.
I hear that.
But hey, so we gonna make it big for her.
Today's topic: accountability.
Man,
that's one thing that a lot of us struggle with. I mean, there's no one out there who hasn't struggled.
It has a lot to do with our pride, our ego.
Right.
We don't want to accept when we're wrong, right? Because we don't never want to be wrong. But if we're never wrong, then how would we enjoy what it's like to be right?
How can you get better, right? How can you get to the next level if you don't need correction? Because if you don't need correction, then that means that you made it to the top. Like,
yeah,
you're there, and there's no such thing.
And one thing about the top, you know how they always say it's lonely at the top.
Yeah.
Well, it's only lonely if you never help nobody else get there, right? So, but if you're high and mighty and you're perfect, you're never gonna help anybody get there because you don't feel you need to give that helping hand.
Right. And
there's nothing that a person can teach you or whatever the case is, because like you said, you're at the tip, you're at the top. So what is the person that you giving a handout to or a hand up? What are they gonna teach you?
And that's where accountability comes into play, because it's like you gotta own up to your shit. Like, fucked up, and I gotta own up to that. You can't be like, I fucked up, and then, but it's your fault that I fucked up. If you didn't do what you did, I wouldn't have fucked up.
I would have done what I did.
And that shit get on my nerves. I hate when people be like, yo, why'd you do that? Because they did it. They made me do it. I hate that line.
All right. Because at the end of the day, everything that we do, whether we're 100% for it or 100% against it, 50%, whatever, at the end of the day, we have to make that choice on whether or not we're going to go through it. And the moment we make that choice that we're going to do it, guess what? There's consequences and repercussions behind everything. Everything.
Yeah. No, I get it. Shit happens, right? But you gotta be accountable for your part in that shit happening. Like, if you didn't show up and shit happened, then maybe shit wouldn't have happened for you.
And it's so weird because nowadays accountability is something that is overlooked. It's thrown in the corner. It's everyone else's fault but the person who actually did it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is crazy to me. Like, I never could understand how we put the blame on someone else, right? For the actions that we did. Now, given we have trauma that happens, okay, cool. But even in that trauma, some of that trauma is out of your control. But what comes after the trauma is entirely up to you. right? Because if the trauma's gone, but we're still holding on to it, man, that's how I was. I've always been this way. Well, then you're basically saying you're not willing to change. And if you're not willing to change, then what?
And just because you've always been that way doesn't mean that you're not accountable. Like that does not take the accountability away.
Not at all. It doesn't stop it. Because
if anything, it makes it worse because you know the source.
Right. Right.
It's like,
what?
That's crazy. People wild out here, man.
See, like, I think about our conversation the other day, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I was going through my issue, let's just say that.
Right.
And in myself, I was like, you know, I'm willing to hurt any and everyone. And you asked me a question about if you were to hurt yourself, would I care about it? Right? And I was doing everything I could to avoid that question. But I gave you the answer. Because in that state of mind, I didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But then when we talked the other day, you said, I knew you were okay because you were honest with yourself.
Yeah.
You said you're still holding yourself accountable, knowing the state of mind that you were in, you still held yourself accountable. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it be the littlest things that can change a person's perspective about you, right? Because if you're not gonna be honest with yourself, you ain't gonna be sure, you ain't gonna be straight with nobody else.
Not a fucking soul. Not a soul.
So one thing you gotta do is be 100 with yourself first and foremost. You gotta be 100 with yourself.
Especially when you're dealing with someone that already knows the answer. I don't care if it's 2 + 2 is 4. If I know the answer is 4, and you know it's 4, and you still say 22, now it's like, oh, no. You're not being true to you.
You know it's crazy, bro. 9 times out of 10, if somebody asks you something, they already know the answer. They just want to see if you're truthful about it.
Yep.
That's it. That's all. They want to see if you're gonna be truthful about it. Again, accountability, right? Because the moment you're truthful to yourself, that means you're gonna hold yourself accountable for everything you say and everything you do. You're gonna stand behind it 110%. You're not gonna back down, shake, nor shiver. You're gonna stand on what you say. I think though, honestly, that a lot of people are afraid of the consequences. Like even grown people, I think they're afraid of the consequences of, well, you're gonna look at me different. You're gonna say something bad about me. But if that was really the thing that bothered them, would they have done it in the first place?
Exactly. I tell my kids whenever they do stuff and they say I don't know, I'll be like, don't say I don't know. I would rather you tell me you did it because you wanted to than tell me I don't know. Because if you say I don't know, then that means you out here just doing random shit and don't know why you do it. But if you like, oh, I wanted to do it, now I understand that you're aware that you did this shit. Saying I don't know is saying that you're unaware of what you're doing. Now I got a fucking nutcase on me. We got a problem here. Like, be real. And to say about adults being afraid of it, it's like, I think it's not even so much that the adults are afraid. It's just that those adults haven't matured mentally into being adults. So that fear of being in trouble, or that schoolyard mentality, right? Fear of looking different are looking, not fitting in with everyone else's beliefs and what they think, all that comes into play. And a lot of us haven't grown out of that mentality because we just took it from childhood to young adult to adult. Now we go to work and we deal with that same childhood shit. I say it all the time. Like, work is just school that you get paid for. Like, it's the same shit. It's the same shit. You got to clock in 8 hours. How long is school? 8 hours. The only difference is you still doing work. It's just not schoolwork. Now you're just doing work. And they set your ass up to be prepared to do that shit. So nothing really changes. You really don't go from young-minded to adult-minded. You just go from, I don't pay for my toilet paper and boxers, and now I pay for my toilet paper and boxers.
Right.
That's it.
And when you say they haven't matured enough to get to that point of accepting the accountability, that's it's weird, but I understand it. I understand it because, again, I don't know what people are like. If they're afraid that they're going to get whooped, or even looking different or standing out, if that's a fear, then you're gonna have that fear your entire life because you don't look like nobody. You don't look like the next person.
Now pay attention to what people. Now take that a step further. Pay attention to how they perceive themselves, the things that they're interested in, and the things that they talk about. Based on those things, you understand on the places on where they're trying to fit in at. And then it'll show the level of accountability. Because at the end of the day, accountability, it's not hard to do. It's just you accepting your shit. And people can't grasp that they have shit to accept. Like you said earlier, they want to put it on. Bullshit.
But yeah, that right there, and this is something that I very long time, because even when somebody puts a gun to your head, that bullet that comes next, or you can do it whatever they tell you to do, right?
Yeah.
But are you willing to live with the choices that come with that, right? So there's things that happen outside of our hands, right? That you as a person, you have to be accountable. Like, man, yo, I was picked on, I was bullied when I was a kid. You got to own that, right? So now when people try to bully you now, you take away that power. Why? Because if I talk about me and I tell you how crappy I am, there's nothing you can say that's gonna
fuck me up.
Yeah, it's not.
So now you're gonna go to the next person.
Yeah,
because you can't fuck with me. And then when I come around, because you can't fuck with me, you're gonna go somewhere else.
And what happens? If that person already owned up to their stuff, you're not gonna be able to get to them either. But how does that saying go? You're only as strong as your weakest link. Yeah. So if you're only as strong as your weakest link, people are going to go after your weakest link.
Yeah. That's why any smart person would know. Always strengthen your weaknesses. Even if you can't physically strengthen it, if you know people are going for that first, then you got to go there before them.
Man, and again, and again, all that is owning up to whatever it is.
Yeah,
if you got a handicap, if you got a disability, if you look different, you gotta take accountability that you're not the same.
Right.
It's okay with that, right? It's okay. People don't always have to fit in.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
That's just I don't know why it's a thing, but
We can talk about why it's a thing on the Fly Guy Conversation. And we done already exceeded the limit of the smoke break. Ladies and gentlemen, if you stayed this long, I appreciate you. This one was good. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. This one got me wanting to really bring back the Fly Guy Conversation. And I want it to be between two people, but I ain't gonna give out too many details, bro. We'll talk about that behind the scenes. And but I appreciate you for coming on. And if you wanna
appreciate being on, bro.
yeah, I definitely
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
If you wanna give out your IG, let people know where they can find you. Of course I'm gonna have it in the video, but if you wanna
So you can look me up on Facebook, Clarence Bowser. IG is Tutu Bowser. Look out for one of my books. If love is what you want, then what's your definition? It can be found on Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Books A Million. Just Google me.
there it is. All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all. Y'all know what it is. Yet again, this is episode 30, y'all. And y'all know what's up. John Jackson dropped tomorrow. It's coming. We on Chachi the Fly Guy, and I'm out.
Every morning I wake and bake, don't need a tiger, it feels great. A balanced breakfast with every session, just all green, no salad dressing. Every morning I wake and bake.